speaker is Ryan Sawyers.
Good morning, everyone. So I'll move a lot. For those of you filming, I apologize in advance. I'm like a shark, an overweight shark. My name is Ryan Sawyers. I'm currently the school board chairman in Prince William County, Virginia. Yes, Prince William County is in the 1st Congressional District, the southern part along the Fauquier line down to 95 as part of the 1st Congressional District. In 2015, I ran for school board chairman, which Prince William County, I believe, is one of 2 counties in the state that elect their chairman by popular vote. We don't elect within the board. I'm the first Democrat to ever win that seat. I'm not afraid to take on races that are gerrymandered in Rob Goodman's favor. I won on the same ballot that Corey Stewart won on. So the appropriate response is boo. So if I mix it in again, don't be afraid to jump in. We've done some good things. First, let me say this. Steal a line from my grandfather, but I'll paraphrase it because his wasn't as clean as what I'm going to say. But man, on Tuesday, the beer just tasted a little colder, didn't it? It was just a little more delicious than the wine or whatever you choose. I chose beer. We had our Prince William County party at a local brewery to celebrate the 8 delegate seats that we have in Prince William County that in some way, shape, or form come into Prince William County. Democrats won 7 of them. So we've very much been on the forefront of this blue wave. I jumped in 2015 and won that chairman seat that nobody said we could win. We won that chairman seat and we flipped the school board for the first time in the county's history as well. And that's important, and let me explain why. I'm not going to go into too much nuance here, but I think it's very important to understand. We flipped the school board in 2015, we took office in 2016. In June of 2016, I announced that I was going to update our non-discrimination policy in Prince William County because you could still be fired in Prince William County based on your sexual orientation or your gender identity. I'd already known Danica Rome before that. From that very moment, Danica and I became very close friends. This was before she announced her run against Bob Marshall. The same response to Corey Stewart applies to Bob Marshall too. So, hey, there we go. We're getting it. I like it. And so, long story short, there's 2 very good things that came out of this. A, we flushed, because I announced the update for that policy, we flushed some haters out of the woodwork in Prince William County. And because I stood up for LGBTQ rights, a group of Republicans led by a Ted Cruz delegate to the Republican National Convention and one of our Tea Party supervisors who says that women are underpaid because they choose the wrong professions. They decided, yeah, we're getting at it, right? You're getting the idea. And so they decided to run a recall effort against me, which is doomed to fail, but it's just kind of fun to watch them try, right? And so we'll keep pushing for these progressive values because we're going to get it passed. Because here's what we did. On June 21st of 2017, the Prince William County School Board, with Bob Marshall in the room, the 5 Democrats casted yay votes to update our non-discrimination policy, the 3 Republicans cast no votes, and right now in Prince William County, you can no longer be fired because of who you love. So yeah, it was fun to watch Danica get elected, right? That was kind of the nail in the coffin that we all wanted to see, and it was a beautiful moment to watch Danica, to watch Lee Carter take down the House Majority Whip with Jackson Miller, to watch Jennifer Carroll Foy, to watch 2 Hispanic women, and Elizabeth Guzman and Hala Ayala get elected to the office. Yeah. We mentioned some nice things about these 2 candidates over here with Corey and Morgan earlier, but it all feels good, and it's great, and it's wonderful, but let's quantify it real quick. These 2 are the reason there was a 7% difference in vote for Ralph Northam compared to Terry McCullough. Had a 7% swing in those 4 years, and it's because we have people that are willing to stand up in the nerve and expose their families and their pocketbooks and your time to the races that we need to run, even if we don't win. We have to run those races, and we have to go out because people are going to tell you can't win. And they didn't listen to that, and they said, no, we're going to go run it. So even if they don't win, they still help the uptick. The support, no different than the economy, it grows from the bottom and the middle out, and you guys help make that happen. Thank you. Obviously, on the school board, one of the big things that we fight for is teacher pay. The 2 budgets that I've been a part of as the school board chairman, we have given step increases to teachers both years for the first time since 2009. And again, that's in Corey Stewart's Prince William County. We're increasing teacher pay, so we know how to take on those fights, right? We put nurses on the professional pay scale. And there's a reason, not only because I believe that teachers should be paid more than we all do, because we all can think back to our favorite teachers or several teachers that we really like to be around because they cared about us. But 75% of teachers are women. You can't convince me that we'd be talking about underpaid teachers if 75% of teachers were women. We've got to honor that profession, not only because it's an honorable profession, but because it's how so many women support their families. And they do it in a good way. They've paid for the education to do so. Speaking of education, I segued for myself there. Speaking for education, we've got to reduce the student debt crisis. It has to happen. Also, I'm from small town America's Way. I grew up in Cumberland, Maryland, in the Appalachian Mountains, way out in western Maryland. My dad is a newspaper journalist. He's been an outdoor writer for 40 years, so I grew up hunting and fishing in the whole 9 yards. But you can't afford, if you take on $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 in student debt to go to UVA or Virginia Tech, I'm not trying to make anybody mad, right? And so you take on that amount of debt, you can't afford to move back to your small town. The town that educated you for 13 years, you can't afford to go back because you've taken on that type of debt. So we've got to make sure we approach that debt so the growth can come back to rural America. And I'll wrap up with this because I feel your presence, Tony. I hear you all. I didn't know someone's going to hang out Hanover County if you're going to feed me all day. And so I'll finish with this. And broadband was touched on earlier, but it's important. Not only does broadband help boost the economy and help local rural businesses stay in touch with the world, it also is a disadvantage to your students. Drastic disadvantage to your students. The things that we're able to offer in Prince William County that you're not able to offer simply because of lack of broadband, right? But not only should we run the broadband and incentivize companies to run the broadband, we need to hire local workers from Hanover and Northumberland and Lancaster to run the line so the money stays right here where it belongs in our communities so we can reinvest it back into ourselves. I could go on forever. My name is Ryan Sawyers. I'm a father of 2, a husband of 1. And I'm running to beat Rob Whitman in the 1st Congressional District. Thank you very much.